stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. Then Pharaoh's daughter went down to the Nile to bathe, and her attendants were walking along the riverbank. She saw the basket amongst the reeds and sent her female slave to get it. She opened it and saw the baby. He was crying, and she felt sorry for him. This is one of the Hebrew babies, she said. Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you? Yes, go, she answered. So the girl went and got the baby's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, take this baby and nurse him for me, and I will what? Oh, don't some of your mothers wish? And I will pay you. So the woman took the baby and nursed him. When the child grew older, she took him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses, saying, I drew him out of the water. This story is encapsulated in Hebrews chapter 11, often called the faith chapter. Hebrews chapter 11, verses 23 and 24. By faith, Moses' parents hid him for 3 months after he was born, because they saw he was no ordinary child. Your child, others, is not ordinary. Special given to you by God for a special purpose of being on this earth. And you are instrumental in that purpose. And they were not afraid of the king's edict. Bow your heads with me. On this special weekend, Lord, as we honor the most special of people dear to our hearts and our lives, we ask, Lord, that this mother's example would be instructive for us today. Lord, there are people here who we are honoring, people who have raised their children, people who are raising their children. May they be honored, but may we all, male and female, those with children and those without, may we all be instructed by words you rarely, if ever, hear come out of the mouth of a mother. Statements similar to, of course you can sit on your brother. Oh, I feel so well rested and relaxed and put together. Please, 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 barge in and tell me what your sister did to you while I go to the bathroom. I think I got too much sleep last night. I really enjoyed taking my kids 4 and under grocery shopping. You know what? I can understand you so much better when you're lying. Yes, please go ahead and make a bigger mess. I love picking up everyone's stuff. My fours, they are so good. The temper tantrum that you just pulled, you know what? It really changed my mind. Thank you. We'll do it your way instead. You can never have enough sugar. And my favorite, you rarely hear this out, that we take those statements in reverse. The very things that do come out of a mother, the things that she does say, it made the impression because I realized the things that she says, the things that my wife who's a mother says to our child, guess what? I never do. And though Angela shares with me her daily cares and frustrations in taking care of our daughter, the struggle is real. I don't experience her reality. So the video helped me appreciate more the gift that mothers truly are. And I hope the Lord will give us a greater appreciation for the gift that mothers are to us and, yes, to the world through today's study. And I especially hope you mothers that are now raising babies and children and teenagers and young adults in these last days, I hope that as you leave this worship service today, you will have a deeper appreciation for yourself as God's gift to your child and to the world. Today we look at the life of Jochebed, a powerless slave whose heroic surrender blessed the world. Before we begin that study, because I know we've got a lot of people who are maybe here visiting or with us for the first time. We're so glad you're here with us today. But let's just recap where we are. Today we're in part 2 of our series, The Six Who Saved. It's a study on the forgotten women who saved Moses' life before God used Moses to save the nation. Last week, we looked at Shiphrah and Puah, the midwives who refused to obey Pharaoh's order to kill the newborn boys. And in that study, we identified 4 parallels. Let's put them on the screen. 4 parallels between what happened before the first Exodus with Moses leading the people to the promised land, and what is prophesied to happen before an end-time Exodus, led by Jesus, taking us, his people, to the land that he's promised. And in today's study, we'll add 3 more parallels to this list. But last week, we saw how the seemingly powerless midwives heroically defied a seemingly all-powerful Pharaoh. And that theme, the powerless heroically thwarting the powerful, leads into the beginning of Jochebed's story. This mother who surrendered all, and as a result, she wound up blessing the world. That's not my opinion. Look at this quote on the screen from the book Education. Jochebed was a woman and a slave. That's a powerless situation, is it not? Her lot in life was humble. What was her burden like? Her burden was heavy. But through no other woman, save Mary of Nazareth, has the world received what? Greater blessing. In order to appreciate the gift, the blessing that Jochebed was, we must first understand her burden. What gave Jochebed this heavy burden that she carries? Well, first, the world of her people has drastically changed. The children of Israel, remember, once enjoyed favored status in Egypt thanks to Joseph's service to a Pharaoh who is now deceased. And Egypt's new administration now views the growing nation within Egypt as a threat to national security, so attempts are made to slow down the Hebrew birth rates. First, enslaved and multiplied. Didn't that come from Genesis? So what's next? So Pharaoh commanded all his people, saying, every son who is born you shall cast into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive. Jochebed is burdened because things have gone from bad to worse for her people. And we have now another parallel to add to our list. Before the first and the end-time Exodus, there is an ever-increasing hostility towards God's people. Such was the case before as well as after Moses' birth. Remember, upon Moses returning to Egypt after his 40 years of exile, Moses asked, he goes before Pharaoh, he asked for a rest. He asked for a Sabbath so the enslaved can go worship the Lord. How does Pharaoh respond to that request? Rest? Rest? Oh, no. You're working harder now. You'll fulfill your same brick quota, but now you're going to have to go out and get your own straw. And the Egyptian taskmasters would whip, and they would taunt the slaves for their failure to do the impossible. Before the first Exodus, things went from bad to worse for God's people. So too it will be before the end-time Exodus. Jesus said before his return that this world would resemble as it was in the days of Noah, which means things go worse, and this world get worse, and they don't get better. Jesus said before his return, the world would be as it was in the days of Lot. And if I were to go into detail about how this prophecy is being fulfilled in our very lifetime, some of you might say, or if people watch this on YouTube, saw me, they would say, oh my goodness, that pastor, he is bigoted, he is unloving, and they may try to cancel me. We're in that cancel culture, aren't we? Just as Sodom's citizens tried to cancel Lot, when Lot did not embrace the people and the culture's sinful, lustful desires. Jesus asked, nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he really find faith on the earth? The favored status that Christians have enjoyed in Western civilization, it's waning. We live now in what's being called a post-Christian culture now, as this sinful and self-focused and secular culture will only grow